With the 19th pick in the 2023 NBA Draft, the Golden State Warriors select Brandon Podziemski from Santa Clara University.
No player in college basketball elevated their stock over the course of a year as much as Brandon Podziemski. After a strong sophomore season out of Santa Clara, followed by an impressive pre-draft workout and scrimmage, Podziemski solidified himself as a legit first-round talent. At first, coming into the draft, I was only interested in drafting a wing, someone who's 6'7", 6'8", and can come in and provide some two-way ability on a rookie contract. Names like Jaime Jaquez Jr. and Chris Murray caught my attention as prototypical combo forwards that can play the 3 or the 4 at the NBA level. Whichever one of the two fell to the Warriors, I would have been happy with drafting at 19. But the Warriors went another direction. Instead of taking a wing with size, they drafted a 6'5" guard out of Santa Clara. Podziemski averaged an impressive 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists on 48, 44, 78 splits. He's one of the most productive players in college basketball. Poz is an elite shooter, knocking down 43% from 3. He's a lefty with a fundamentally sound shooting form. Funny enough, he said he developed his shooting form by playing NBA 2K when he was a kid and mimicking the shooting mechanics. The other thing that's apparent about his game is that he has amazing touch. Not just as a shooter, but on his floaters. Dude shoots a ridiculous 45% on floaters, and he routinely attempts difficult ones, sometimes out to the free throw line. As a 6'5" combo guard, he averaged almost 9 boards a game. That's pretty damn impressive. Rebounding is the most translatable skill from college to the NBA, so he should be able to come in and help on the boards. Look at the job he did boxing out this big man on this possession. The dude's a competitor. If that was Poole in that situation, he would have gave up the moment the ball went up. The Warriors rely on their guards to help out on the boards, so Poz's rebounding ability should be an asset for Golden State. Averaging that many rebounds at his size shows me he's a competitor. That tells me he's a dog. Here's Podziemski's combine ranks amongst guards. Stand vert, he was 6th. Max vert, 3rd. 3/4 court sprint, 14th. Shuttle, 4th. Lane agility, 6th. So he tested solidly at the combine. Unfortunately, his athleticism doesn't really pop when he plays. He has a 39-inch vertical, but he doesn't really apply it to his game outside of rebounding. He's more of a vertical athlete than he is a lateral one, where he struggles to stay in front and quick guards. That's my biggest concern with Pods. Will he be able to stick with NBA level athletes? It's going to be a challenge for him defensively. A few signs I think he'll eventually figure out how to be a passable defender is number 1, his competitiveness. He's going to at least put forth the effort and try. Trying is half the battle. Watching Jordan Poole play defense used to have me hot, bruh. Not just because he was a terrible defender, but because he didn't try. He put forth no effort or resistance. The man has zero pride playing defense, bro. Pods is at least going to give you the effort and he's going to show some pride. He's about 6'5", but he's listed at 6'3" 3/4 without shoes, with a 6'5" wingspan. So he doesn't have much length to make up for his slow feet. I don't think he'll ever be a lockdown defender with his physical limitations, but he can at least get to being a league average team defender. The fact that he's such a high IQ player gives me reasons to believe he can. We'll see how he acclimates against NBA athletes, but he looked pretty good at the NBA combine scrimmage, going against other NBA prospects. He didn't seem physically overwhelmed at all. In fact, he was the best player on the court, putting up 10 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, and most importantly, 0 turnovers in 21 minutes played. This is what Poz had to say about getting drafted by the Warriors. The way I play and the way they play kind of meshes. I think it's a perfect fit, Podziemski said. I'm a very unselfish player, as are all the other guys in that locker room. But obviously, I can make shots, high-level shooting. And then, you talk about the question of my defense, you got Draymond Green and Gary Payton to learn from. I think something that hasn't been talked about enough is that Podziemski's going to have Steph Curry and Chris Paul as his vets. The young Bulls going to soak up so much game from 2 of the best. How many rookies get to say they get to learn behind 2 Hall of Fame point guards? Just going against those 2 every day in practice is going to make them a better player. And now let's get to who I think is going to end up being a steal of the draft. Trayce Jackson-Davis. The Warriors took the 4-year man out of Indiana, 57th overall. Warriors GM Mike Dunleavy said they had him way higher on their board. His draft range was considered by a lot of draft experts to be anywhere from the late 1st round to early 2nd. It was even a few mock drafts that had the Warriors taking him at 19. So to get him at 57 overall is great value.
It's just landing in the spot that a team wanted me, and I can make the most out of my opportunity. And I feel like Golden State was that place, and so waiting a little bit, that's not wrong with me. As long as I can make the most of it, it's good with me, and I'm ready to compete.
Now you might be wondering why he fell all the way to 57th. I think the biggest reason for his slip is his age. He's 23 years old. That may not seem old, but trust me, for some of these GMs, he's old. It's the perceived lack of upside that comes with his age that had a lot of teams passing. It was reported that after a certain point earlier in the 2nd round, there was teams interested in drafting him, but they wanted him to agree to a 2-way contract. TJD and his representatives declined, knowing the Warriors would be willing to give him a standard guaranteed contract later in the draft, and they did, signing him to a 3-year deal fully guaranteed. The other concerns teams probably had with him was his lack of outside shooting, and the fact that he has no right hand, like 0, none. He's extremely left-hand dominant, and at 23 years old, Those weaknesses sunk him even more. So that's why I think he slipped to 57. But his age is irrelevant to the Warriors. Him being 23 is actually appealing to Golden State. As a 4-year college player, he has plenty of experience to go along with a natural passing feel for a big man. He should be able to earn Kerr's trust enough to go on the court in his rookie season. Unfortunately, they had to trade PBJ in the process. They used PBJ as ammo to get the 57th pick from the Wizards, essentially expanding it into the Chris Paul trade. Now I know it's a lot of fans that wasn't happy with giving up PBJ, but the pull for Chris Paul trade basically told you where the Warriors are at with this 2-timeline plan. They're done with the projects. As promising as Patrick Baldwin Jr. seemed, he was still a project. The Warriors believe Trayce Jackson Jr. as a 23-year-old 4-year player had a better chance of playing right now than 20-year-old Patrick Baldwin. So even though PBJ is probably a better prospect due to his upside, Jackson Davis is a better player right now. And right now is all that matters to the Warriors. So I wish PBJ the best of luck in Washington. After the Warriors traded for CP3, I was already saying they were going to need to get CP3 a vertical spacer for when he runs the PNR with the second unit. They got that now in Jackson Davis. He's an athletic lob threat that's an explosive finisher at the rim. And unlike James Wiseman, Jackson Davis actually has good hands. If you throw it up, he's going to catch it and crush it down over a defender's head. The dude's trying to take a soul every time he goes up for a dunk. The Warriors already announced he'll be on the 15-man roster, so expect to see him given a chance to play this year. Now free agency is all about adding size and front court shooting. A stretch forward is the main thing this roster's missing. They might want to pick up another point guard for insurance, but every other signing either needs to be a wing or a stretch big. But anyways, that's all I got for y'all. If you enjoy the content, go ahead and give the video a like. It helps me out a lot and is greatly appreciated. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.